Hello, welcome to this next video on Chapter 1. This is a joint video for both ECON 1010 and 2020 since this chapter is used for both of these courses. So let's begin. You can see here with the layout, what we have are a number of different topics in Chapter 1. Even though it's a short chapter, there's some major themes that commence in this portion of the textbook that carry on through the remaining part of the book. Again, with the navigation, you start off with the home page of Blackboard, and you'll see in the course navigation menu bar at the left, content modules. You click on content modules and you navigate to Chapter 1 module. This has the standard layout of the modules, starting off with the task list. Then you have links to the OneNote notebook, videos, which contain this video and others that will be populated as the course goes on. The My Econ Lab links to the homework and quizzes, and the follow-on study plan if you have marks of below 90% on either the homework or the quiz. Then there is a link to the blog comments page that will take you to the particular blog entry point for you to make the comment for Chapter 1. So we begin with a basic definition of economics. Economics is the study of how agents choose to allocate scarce resources and how those choices affect society. Agents may not be aware of all the ways their choices may affect other agents. So there are particular terms in this definition that we'll look at more carefully. So what does it mean by being an economic agent? What are economic resources? Well, economic agents are a wide variety of individuals, groups, organizations that make choices regarding scarce resources. And the most common economic agents are households, firms, and governments. Because all economic agents have specific unlimited wants, but wanting things that have limited availability, then these agents face choices on which of the resources to consume and use. Another distinction in this first part of the chapter is the division in economics between micro and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is dealing with the small pieces and parts of the economy, such as firm choices of output, prices, hiring decisions. Then on the counterpart from employees, which jobs they choose to seek and obtain. Household decisions on what things to be purchasing. Individual investor decisions on what of their savings to be allocating toward different types of investment vehicles. All of those types of decisions made by these types of economic agents in these circumstances is comprising the study of microeconomics. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, is the study of the economy as a whole. Usually the scope is of a whole nation. Now we come to these three main themes of the economics course, whether it is Econ 1010 or 2020. They are optimization, equilibrium, and empiricism. Optimization means choosing the highest ranked option out of a menu of options. That may seem very simple, but it quickly becomes complex and oftentimes unattainable. Equilibrium is the circumstance in which everyone is simultaneously optimizing with no capability of any party benefiting by changing his or her behavior. Empiricism is the scientific method whereby methods of observation are used to gather data to confirm or refute a testable hypothesis. So look at some examples to help illustrate some things about these three themes. First, let's look at over here a recent play in the NFL division round game that occurred last week between the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. And then I'm going to illustrate some things about chess. I'm an avid chess player, and here we see Jeff Janis, number 83 of the Green Bay Packers, reaching up at his maximum jump height to catch a ball in the end zone at the end of regulation play, and thereby tying the game, taking it to overtime. This was a Hail Mary pass, and one might think, why not continually throw to the end zone all the time to try to get a touchdown? And you would say it's too risky, and that's the correct answer. So there are lots of qualifications associated with optimizing, and many times to attempt to optimize in the circumstances is too hard, too risky, and it can't even be measured. And so there are proxies that are used using different kinds of metrics. In the case of a firm, they may seek to have increased sales revenue, increased market share, sales per employee. All of these are useful metrics to obtain betterment for the well-being of the firm that come close to maximizing profits. This other example here is tied to the second principle associated with equilibrium. As I said, I played this game a couple days ago, and this was the 39th move of the game. And it is red that moves first, and then green moves next. So if I played white and I moved 2 squares to the left here with my rook, and this green response here by black would have been a good move. And as you can see, the point of this is that there is a roughly equal weighting of these pieces. If you don't understand chess, that's fine. But the point of it is there is an attrition of the pieces, and they have relatively the same strength and power. This is an equilibrium condition that would lead toward a draw if the play continued like this. And that's the point of an equilibrium condition, that we would go at it, each other, these two chess players, and yet there's a dynamism in which there's an attrition of pieces. And so the point of this is that you can have an equilibrium, and it doesn't need to be static. There can be a dynamic change going on, and yet you still stay in an equilibrium condition. In contrast here, this is what actually happened in the next move. The next move is that the black player chose to move his king down one space here, and in turn I was poised to move and capture this pawn with my queen, and with that move I would have placed the black player into checkmate. He recognized his mistake immediately and he resigned. This is an equivalent of a disequilibrium condition where there's this permanent imbalance that occurs. Sometimes there can be a rectifying action, say in a market, that can cause the disequilibrium to be restored to an equilibrium condition, but there may be some things like a government intervention in the market that could maintain the disequilibrium. The other example I like to use here is an excerpt out of the 2015 Economic Report of the President. This is a very popular table, and it can be transposed into a spreadsheet and then in turn be used for analysis using statistical methods. And this is the percent changes in real gross domestic product from the mid-1960s to a couple years ago. And you can gather these type of data real time, and we will do so in both courses using a database called FRED that is compiled by the Federal District Bank of St. Louis. And these types of tables can be used to look at trends, look at changes of rates, and test various types of hypotheses. Like, well, you may form a hypothesis saying the U.S. economy is going to have robust growth over the course of this next year. You can comprise various types of macroeconomic variables to test against that, and then as time transpires, determine whether your forecast has been validated or not.